back at it with another live video, live stream. All right, so this basically my predictions for All Star Sunday. You know what I mean? All Star Weekend coming up. I think probably third or second Saturday. I'm assuming the second Saturday of 28 of February. You know what I mean? And this year's All Star game. If you don't know already. Well, let's first talk about the starters from each conference. You know what I mean? We got in the Eastern Conference, we have Joel Embiid from Philadelphia, Giannis Antetokounmpo from Milwaukee, the Greek Freak, LeBron James, Cleveland Cavs. We have DeMar DeRozan, Toronto Raptors. And we have Kyrie Irving, Boston Celtics. So those are starters for the Eastern Conference. All right. Now let's talk about the Western Conference. From the Western Conference, we have DeMarcus Cousins at the center from New Orleans Pelicans. We have the unibrow kid, Anthony Davis from New Orleans Pelicans at the power forward. Small forward Kevin Durant, shooting guard James Harden from Houston Rockets, and the point guard is Steph Curry from Golden State Warriors, defending champs. Now, this year's going to be a little different from any All-Star game I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? We're going to have the top vote getters, the top two from each conference. In the West, it was Steph Curry. In the East, it's yo, I see Charlie Brown in the chat. What going on, Charlie Brown? What the deal, man? Hold tight. Let me send these links to social media. 1 sec. Hold tight. Share. Give me 1 sec. I totally forgot to do that at the beginning of the video. All right. Okay, let's do this, man. Let's get into it. Charlie Brown says West gonna win Western Conference. Hey, man, I wouldn't deny that. I wouldn't doubt it. The Western Conference been stacked, man. The Western Conference got all the killers. You know what I mean? Got all the best players in the NBA on that side of the Western Conference, But I was talking about how in the West the top vote getter was Steph Curry. In the East, the top vote getter was LeBron James. You check it. Now, this year, like I said, is going to be different from any All-Star game I've seen in my life. You know what I mean? We're going to have LeBron James and Steph Curry. It's not going to be... Matter of fact, Charlie Brown, he says I just peeped what you said. You said West going to win, and I agreed with you. But this year, it's different, man. LeBron James and Steph Curry are going to pick players from each conference, East and West, to be on their team. You know what I mean? It's basically like you go out to the basketball court, you pick your starting five plus your bench. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's going to be this year. Something totally different. I'm not mad at the idea because I'm not going to lie, man. The All-Star game these last few years been whack, man. These fellas don't play defense. Fellas don't want to get up in each other and strap up. They just want to score like 200 points each, man. And that's not fun, man, When I used to watch All-Star games back in the G, the first half fellas play around. You see mad alley-oops. You know what I mean? Fellas dropping mad dimes, fancy stuff. Exciting and entertaining the crowd. But by the fourth quarter, fellas is strapping up. Fellas is in each other's jersey, and they getting it in, man. They not trying to be embarrassed. They trying to win because there's actually an incentive at the end of the game, you know what I mean? The winning team gets X amount of dollars, you know what I mean? Not to mention bragging rights for the conference. You check it? Yeah, Charlie Brown says that's a good idea. Definitely. It's a good idea, and we'll see how it works, you know what I mean? Because it's the first time they do it. But it's a good idea because, like I said, the last 2 years or 3, maybe 4 years, you know what I mean? It's just not been fun, man. You know what I mean? All-Star games used to be something. It happens on Sunday. The next day, Monday morning, man, we come back to school, man. Everybody's talking about it. You know what I mean? Now nobody talks about the All-Star game. It's becoming like the NFL Pro Bowl. You know what I mean? I don't even watch the Pro Bowl no more because fellas not trying. You know what I mean? It's like flag football. You check it, so that's what it is, man. You know what I mean? But matter of fact, I'm gonna give you guys my favorite All Star game memories. You know what I mean? One time before I give you guys my predictions on who's gonna make it. Okay, my favorite All Star game memories or games I distinctively remember. What up, P Money? What's happening, man? He says Dame Lillard need to be an All Star game. Period. Hey, P Money, hold tight. I didn't get to my reserves yet, but I'm gonna echo your sentiments one time. You know what I mean? Definitely. But my favorite All Star game memories, man. I remember I like '98's All Star game. Michael Jordan's last All Star game as a Chicago Bull. You know what I mean? What kicks was he wearing them times? '98. He had the black 13s, the all black 13s. You know what I mean? They call them the playoff joints. That's what he was rocking in that joint. And man, that was a beautiful All Star game. You know what I mean? I liked it mostly because I'm a Celtics fan. You know what I mean? And we hadn't had an All Star in a minute make the All Star game since fellas like Reggie Lewis, rest in peace, in like '93. So in '98, my man Antoine Walker, number 8 from the Celtics, he made the All Star game, and I was happy for him. But it was a beautiful All Star game. Jordan recorded the first triple double ever in an All Star game, and that All Star game. Matter of fact, was Kobe Bryant's first All-Star game. Here's something crazy. Kobe Bryant was in his second year in the NBA, averaging 17 points per game off the bench. Because I'll tell you the starting lineup of the Lakers. And I hate the Lakers, but I know everything about them. That's my rival, so I got to know everything about them. The starters for the Lakers, not the All-Star game, the Lakers, they had Shaq, Robert Horry, Rick Fox, Eddie Jones at the 2 guard, and Van Exel at the point. Now, the Lakers had 4 All-Stars in that 1998 All-Star game. Shaq, Van Exel, Eddie Jones, and Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant was coming off the bench as a 6th man for the Lakers that year, but he got voted by the fans to be a starter. So he ain't even starting on his real team, but he got voted to be a starter in the All-Star game. And man, did he put on a show. He was gunning. You know what I'm saying? He was gunning. He was taking all the shots. But he came out, and this young kid was about 18, 19 years old, and you could tell this man wasn't afraid of the moment. And he was battling with Jordan, man. Just go on YouTube and check out 1998 All-Star Game highlights. Go look how he was battling one-on-one with Mike. Of course, Mike got the upper hand. He schooled the youngin, but Kobe Bryant went back at him. As a matter of fact, Kevin Garnett was in that All-Star game. I think it was his first. Him and Kobe were the 2 youngins, kids out of high school. And they put on a show, man. My man Gary Payton, I'm a lifelong Gary Payton fan, you know what I'm saying? He was in there. Ray Allen was in that All-Star game, you know what I mean? I used to always like Ray Allen, smooth jump shot, you know what I mean? That was a very good All-Star game, man. That was one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites was 1992 when Magic Johnson didn't even play in the NBA that year. You know what I mean? He ain't even play in the NBA in the 91-92 season. But he got voted to be a starter by the fans with his HIV. He came on and put on a show, man. You know what I'm saying? Dropping buckets, dropping dimes. Everybody was trying to get a piece of him as far as trying to attack him, go to the rack, or just. But hey, he held his own, and not only that, he was the All-Star Game MVP. You know what I mean? My man, who was the Celtic that year? 91, 92. I don't remember if Larry Bird was in there. I remember 93. My God, I think McHale probably made that 92 joint, but I know in 93, my man Reggie Lewis did. But those are some of my favorite All-Star games. As I got older, those memories are not quite, in the 2000s. They're not quite as lasting like when I was a kid, because when we was kids, man, we loved the NBA, man. It's fantastic, you know what I mean? So those are some of my favorite memories of the All-Star game. You know, I watch every All-Star game every year, but like I said, these days it's not the same anymore because fellas don't want to play, man. You know, they don't want to strap up. They don't want to get embarrassed. They too buddy. And I don't like that stuff, man. So I'm 10 minutes into the video, man. Been chatting too long about my memories. Let's get it, man. Let's do this, man. Let's talk about who I think should be the starters. Oh, I'm sorry, the reserves. You know what I mean? All right. So for Celtics, no, let's go. Let's see. I'm gonna start by position. For the center who should be in the All-Star game, the center who should probably be a starter. I'm sorry, off the bench. I'm gonna have to go with Al Horford. You know what I mean? I'm not being biased because, you know, I'm a Celtics fan or whatever, but you know, I think Al Horford deserves to make the All-Star game because we are the number one seed in the East, excuse me. And not to mention, you know, this us being number one, we just can't have one Celtic make the All-Star game in Kyrie Irving. You know what I mean? You check it. So I think definitely the man Al Horford should make it. You know, as far as centers, you know, we could pick Andre Drummond from Detroit, but I ain't gonna pick him over Al Horford because they not number one. They not even in the playoffs last I checked. You know what I mean? They probably like the number 9th seed, Detroit Pistons. So and you know, you could pick Hassan Whiteside from Miami, and Miami's doing the damn thing too. But I think for the center, I'm gonna pick Al Horford. You know what I mean? It's only right I pick Al Horford. Okay, so that's 6, and you know there's 12 positions, so I'm gonna go 6 through 12. All right, because I already told y'all who's the starting 5 from each conference. Okay. All right, so number 7 as a power forward. Let me see. I could probably pick a guy like, you know, I probably would put Kevin Love. You know what I mean? Cavs are number 3 in the East. You know what I mean? They're kind of underachieving this year. You check it, but I would definitely put Kevin Love. You know what I mean? I think the man's dropping 18 points per game, and not only that, you know. The man comes through. He's actually the second best player on the Cavs team. You know what I mean? And they're the third best in the conference. So I'd put him in there. You know what I'm saying? No doubt about it. So small forward in the East. Let me think. Who would I put? Small forward. Giannis Antetokounmpo is already a starter. Uh, um, what's that kid from Philly's name? Ben Simmons. Let me put him on hold one time. I think for the, you see, for the what you call it? I'd probably put what's his name, man? I'd have to consider. I'm gonna put Tobias Harris on hold because the Pistons, in my opinion, they kind of underachieving. You know what I mean? They should be better than what they are. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a two guard up there at the number 3 position. A guy who 6'4", you know what I mean? But this guy's doing the damn thing. He's from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. He's from the D.C., Maryland area. So, and I've seen the guy play many times, not just in high school at DeMatha out there in Upper Marlboro, I mean in Hyattsville, Maryland, but I seen him at the Goodman League, you know, in D.C. at the Barry Farms, you know what I mean? That in the projects. That's like the Rucker Park of D.C., you know what I mean? Street ball, you know. You're going to see fellas like Baby Shaq out there, you know what I mean? You see NBA players, Michael Beasley, Kevin Durant, Oladipo. I seen enough fellas come out there, Jared Jack, you know, the local guys from the D.C., Maryland area, you know what I mean? So I'm going to have to pick Victor Oladipo. Oladipo has to be an all-star this year. You kidding me? The Pistons, nobody considered the Pistons to do anything this year. If you look at the standings, last I checked, the Pistons are like they like the number 7th seed, you know what I mean? They number 6. They number 6 seed. So I'm putting Oladipo up there. 24 points per game. My man, fellas, they kind of threw him under the bus. They said, "Oh, this guy can't play." He was in Orlando. He was kind of bumming. He wasn't. He was underachieving out there. The man was in what you call it. Played with Westbrook and he was underachieving. So I'm gonna have to put the man Oladipo up there, man. Number 6 in the playoffs for the Pacers, who lost Paul George. Put that man in there, and that's a fact. So Oladipo's gonna be my 3. Small 3, but hey, the All-Star game is fun and gun anyways. You know what I mean? It's not about positions anyway. So put that man in there. At the 2 guard in the East, I'm gonna have to go with Bradley Beal. From the Washington Wizards. Somebody asked, man, you live in DC, man, you in the area and out there, and you don't even be talking about the Wizards. Well, look, man. Hey, man, I grew up in Boston before I lived in the DC area. You heard? So I'm not going to just become automatically Washington Wizards fans. I respect them. But I'm not going to front like I'm a Wizards fan. By no means am I a Wizards fan, you know what I mean? But I respect them. I go to the I don't know what it's called these days, the Capital One Center. I'll go watch them live when they play the Celtics, when the Celtics come into town, and I'll be decked out in green. So I don't care what nobody say. But Bradley Beal's having a good season. I think the man's averaging just a shade under 24 points per game. He's never been an All-Star, should have been an All-Star last year. The Wizards, last I checked, they number 5 in the playoff race right now. So put him in. He's definitely an all-star. He has to make it this year. Okay? So what's that? My 2 guard, then the point guard. Let me see. Raptors are number 2. I would put Kyle Lowry, but Kyle Lowry has had better seasons in this year. I think he's averaging 17 points per game. So I'm going to leave him out. Heat. A guy like Goran Dragic is having a very good season. Miami Heat are actually number 4 in the playoff race, you know what I mean? See, they're actually number 4. They're doing very well, you know what I'm saying? Especially even with Dion Waiters injured. So I might consider putting that man, Dragic, but I'm just going to have to go with another Washington Wizards. See, I'm not biased. I don't hate on the Wizards. They just not my squad. I don't care if they play down the street, down 7th Street, down from where I live off Georgia Ave, you know what I mean? So I'm going to have to go with the man, the Washington Wizards, John Wall. He's averaging about 19 per game. He's a good all-around player. Only thing he ain't got is really a jump shot. The guy is kind of out of control sometimes. But, hey, John Wall is a good player. He plays defense. That I could say, and that's what a lot of point guards don't do, but he does that, so I'll put him in there, and they actually number 5 in the playoff list, all right? Okay, so that's 10 I got, so I got 2 more spots left, and these are the wild card spots, all right? I'm just going to let you know off bat, man. I'm not going to even think about it too hard. My number 11th guy is Kristaps Porzingis, New York Knicks. New York Knicks are number 10 in the playoff race right now. They lost a lot of games when the man Tim Hardaway Jr. got injured. They were winning with Tim Hardaway Jr. They win the playoff race, you know what I mean? So I'm going to have to go with the man Kristaps Porzingis, just averaging a shade under 24 points per game, just a little bit under 7 rebounds, you know what I mean? I think he could be a better rebounder, but he's an offensive-minded type of dude, you know what I mean? And he definitely drops buckets. He puts butt asses in seats up in MSG. And he's a talent to watch, whether you like the Knicks or not, you know what I mean? And like it or not, truth of the matter is the NBA is a better place when teams like the New York Knicks, Chicago Bulls, Boston Celtics, Los Angeles Lakers are in the NBA playoffs. And that's just a fact, man. The NBA is in a good place when those 4 teams, classic teams I mentioned, are in the NBA playoffs. But I'm going to put Porzingis in there, okay? All right. And my last and 12th spot in the East, I'm going to go with the guy who the team's underachieving, and it's not his fault. It's not his fault. Fellas ain't doing what they supposed to do out there. Fellas like Nicholas Batum, Dwight Howard came over there, and he's not helping. helping the team win. Right now, the Hornets are in the 11th spot in the playoffs. But I got a prediction too. I think the Hornets they're gonna get their stuff together and they're gonna make the playoffs come come playoff time. They're gonna climb up in the rankings. You know what I mean? From number 11, they're gonna make it, man. Somebody's gonna get bumped out. You know what I mean? And I think they're gonna battle with Philadelphia for the last spot, number 8 spot. And I think Kemba Walker, man. Kemba Walker's an all-star to me, you know what I mean? This guy's a talent, you know what I mean? Smooth handle, beautiful jump shot, you know what I'm saying? The man could scores buckets on the inside, layups. He yanks fellas from the outside, got a vicious step back. Kemba Walker, man, you know, I've heard he's in trade rumors, you know what I mean? And they might be trying to trade him with Nicholas Batum to Cleveland Cavs for Isaiah Thomas, Channing Frye, and a bunch of other players. Maybe J.R. Smith. If I was the Cleveland Cavs, I'd pull the trigger, dogs. I'd pull the trigger, man. Forget about it. That man Kemba Walker is one of the better point guards in the NBA. Skill-wise, talent-wise, one-on-one, that kid can play. And he's my number 12th dude, man. You know what I'm saying? He's my number 12th guy for the All-Star game. So that's my start and my reserves right there. You know what I mean? I picked fellas like Al Horford, Kevin Love, Victor Oladipo, Bradley Beal, John Wall, Christoph Porzingis, and Kemba Walker. All right. So that's my start. That's my All-Star team in the East. And, you know, they're not all going to be on the same team. These guys are going to be mixed and matched. You know what I mean? Curry and LeBron James, they're going to pick who they want on their teams. But I'm going to give you my all-star snubs in the East. Tobias Harris, what's his name? Andre Drummond, and what's his name? Yeah, those are the guys. Maybe Kyle Lowry. You know what I mean? These are guys who I think they're not going to make the All-Star game, even though they're having good seasons. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's my All-Star game reserves for the East. Let's get into it for the West. You know what I mean? Damn, I know this vid would take this long, but hey, thanks for anybody and everybody who's listening. Big ups to my man P Money and Charlie Brown. Thanks a lot for participating. I ain't done yet, and everybody who's going to listen to it on archives when it's uploaded. Thanks again, man, for listening, and bear with me, man. So in the East, I mentioned that the starters are DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Steph Curry. Okay, so I'm gonna give you my reserves right here. Here we go. My reserves are gonna be at the center position. Let me think. Man, there's a lot of good players in the West, dogs, blood clot. All right, man. I ain't even gonna think about it too hard, man. For the center, you gotta put the man Karl Anthony Towns, Minnesota Timberwolves. You know what I mean? Minnesota is number 3 in the playoffs, ladies and gents. Number 3 in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Hold tight. Let me look at his stats right quick. Let me tell you what his stats, what he's averaging this year, and why I think he definitely should be an All-Star reserves. No doubt about it. That means Minnesota is number 3 in the playoff race. You check it in a tough Western Conference. The kid's averaging 20 points per game, 12.1 rebounds. That's a given, man. We're not even going to think about that too hard. That's my NBA start. My start at the center. You know what I mean? Okay. Then we have let's see. The power forward, I'm going to put LaMarcus Aldridge. He's having a good season. He's actually his best season as a San Antonio Spur. The Spurs are number 4 in the playoff race. You check it, and they played the majority of the season without Kawhi Leonard. So I'm going to have to put the man LaMarcus Aldridge. I forgot how many points he's averaging. Last I checked, it was about 22 per game. You check it, and LaMarcus Aldridge at one point in time was the best power forward in the NBA. You check it, when he came from Portland, he was the best power forward in the NBA. Since he's been a Spur, he's been underachieving. But this year, he looks like he's back to his old self, okay? So that's my power forward. My small forward, I'm going to have to go with the man. I'm going to have to go with Jimmy Butler, man. Jimmy Butler on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let me look at his stats one time. Hold up one sec. Jimmy Butler, man, is the reason with his veteran leadership. And not only that, bringing defense, the defensive mentality and culture that Jimmy Butler has, he's brought it to Minnesota Timberwolves. And that's the reason this team is actually number 3 in the playoff race as of right now in a tough Western Conference. And he's leading the team in scoring. 21.7, 5.4 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, 5 assists, you know. I was talking with my little brother in the summertime when Jimmy Butler went over to Minnesota, and I was telling him in order for the Timberwolves to be that team, to go to the playoffs, Jimmy Butler is going to have to lead them in scoring. He's going to have to be the leader, and sure enough, it is. My little brother was telling me, the kid, what's his name, Andre Wiggins? Oh, is the Wiggins kid, the kid from Canada, you know what I mean, with the cornrows. Very good player, but in order for Minnesota to go to the next level, they need a veteran leadership, and they got it from Jimmy Butler. So that's my small forward in the West. Okay? My two guard, my two guard would probably be, let me see. I could probably say Klay Thompson, or I could put the man. Let me look at what my guy. Let me see what my guy is averaging, man. That kid. What's his name? What's Damian Lillard's running partner out there? His name. Damn, man, it's escaping my. C.J. McCollum. Let me see what C.J. McCollum doing this year. I really like C.J. McCollum, man. That kid can play. He's one of the best top 3 one-on-one players in the NBA, man. Skill set. He's not a leaper. He's not a high flyer. But C.J. McCollum is a pure scorer, man. I like that guy ever since he came out of Lehigh, you know what I mean? Small college, just like Dame Lillard. He came out of Weber State. Small colleges, but these guys are prolific scorers, man. C.J. McCollum's averaging 21.4. Let me put him on hold one time, you know what I mean? He might, my guy, P Money's in the chat. He says CJ, yeah, CJ McCollum, no doubt. He's hooping too. He's averaging 22 per game. Yeah, CJ McCollum last year should have been an all-star. And you know what? It's either him or Klay Thompson, man, who's gonna be that shooting guard reserve, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And who do I like more? Who do I think is a better player? Actually, I think C.J. McCollum is. You know, I don't care if the dude can score from the shooting jump shots. He can't create his own shot like C.J. McCollum. You know what I mean? If they played one-on-one, C.J. McCollum will fry him 10 out of 10 times, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I'm probably going to have to go with C.J. McCollum this year, you know what I mean? I'm going to have to. Sorry. I know Klay Thompson and them are the number one seed in the West, but C.J. McCollum should have been an all-star 2 years ago, last year. They're not going to snub him for a third time. Nah, not in my book. You know what I mean? The man got to make the all-star game this year, so C.J. McCollum will be my starter. And the Timberwolves, I said Timberwolves, the Trailblazers are number 7 in the playoffs, you know what I mean? And, you know, say what you want, man. All my lifetime since I was born, the Blazers are almost always in the playoffs. They was always there with Drexler, fellas like Cliff Robinson, Jerome Kersey, these guys. You check it, then they might have fell off for one. At one point in time, I remember they had made the playoffs 18 straight years, you know what I mean? Then they got the Jailblazers team with what's the guy's name? Damon Stoudemire, Sheed Wallace, Zach Randolph, all them fellas over there. And they was in the playoffs. You know, if it wasn't for that Game 7 against the Lakers, who knows if they maintain that lead and win that game and go to the finals? Who knows if the Lakers would have still had that dynasty, man? I'm still mad about that game. You know what I mean? Sabonis, these type of fellas. So the Trailblazers are a consistent team, you know what I mean? They almost always in the playoffs. Since the guy Dame Lillard came there, I think they might have missed the playoffs just once, if that, you know what I mean? So C.J. McCollum's my 2 guard reserve. And point guard reserve, Chris Paul, I'm not going to lie, man. Chris Paul is a guy, when he's in the lineup with what's his name with the Rockets, Man, they very good, man. They very good. You know what I mean? Chris Paul is to me the most purest point guard in the NBA. He's not my guy. You know, I'm not. I love many other point guards ahead of him, but he definitely is the purest point guard in the NBA in the last 10 years. You know what I mean? And he's averaging 19.1, 5.9 rebounds, 8.9 assists. Let me look at what my man D Lillard, my second favorite, maybe third favorite point guard in the NBA. Dame Lillard. Let me see what he's averaging. Um, Let me see. Dame Lillard stats. Dame Lillard. Let me look him up one time, man. Dame Lillard is just a monster, man. That kid is vicious, dogs. I'm sure he's averaging 25 or something stupid like that, man. Dame Lillard's a bad man, you know what I mean? Yeah, P Money already told me 25. That's my my reserve at the point guard, you know what I mean? Dame Lillard, he gotta make it this year. They faked on him last year. He's gotta make it this year, you know what I mean? And okay, so that's my top five off the bench right there. Now we gotta go for the wild card spots, you know what I mean? I might have to put Klay Thompson in there just off GP because the what you call it, the Warriors are number one team in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I just got to put him up in there. You know what I mean? He's gonna be my 11th guy off the bench. And let me see, shit. And my 12th guy is gonna be the kid from Denver, man. Nikola Jokic, however you pronounce his name. You know, this guy from Europe can play, man. The dude's averaging about 16 points per game, 10 rebounds. Kid can pass. He's like a Sabonis type of player. A big man who got crazy passing skills. Makes the team better. Look at that team out there in Denver. They ain't got no really stars over there, but they got a lot of very, very good players, man. The Harris kid, Willie Burton, the African kid, Moondai. Of course, Millsap. Let me see what Millsap averaging, a matter of fact, you know what I mean? Forgot all about my man Millsap. One of my favorite players, too, you know what I mean? I've always liked Millsap since he was a Utah Jazz player, all right? Let me see what Phil Millsap doing over there, man. Last I checked, I think Millsap is even injured for the season. Or he suffered a kind of devastating injury. You know what I mean? Let me see what Paul Millsap is doing, man. 15.3 now. He ain't making it over Jokic. Jokic is my 12th player off the bench, you know what I mean? So there you go. I'm gonna run down my reserves for the West. Who did I say? Karl Anthony Towns at the center. LaMarcus Aldridge at the power forward. The two guard, I'm gonna put the three I have Jimmy Butler. The two guard I have CJ McCollum. Point guard I have Dame Lillard. The three I'm gonna have. I'm sorry, the 11th guy I'm gonna have Klay Thompson, and the 12th guy, the final guy is Nikola Jokic. You know what I mean? My wild cards, the guys who are gonna be snubbed this year, and he probably is gonna be there in real life. You know what I mean? This is just my predictions on who I think actually deserves to be all stars. Chris Paul might be snubbed in my book. And Draymond Green, you know what I mean? Those are the two guys who I think might not make the All-Star game this year. You check it. But in all reality, knowing how biased the NBA is sometimes, those two guys will be there. And actually, Lou Williams. Let me see. What are the Clippers? Number 9? Then they number 9 in the playoff race. A half game out of 8th spot. Lou Williams is having a monster season, man, and I don't even know if he's a full-time starter or if he still plays that six-man role, man. My guy's averaging like 23 per game out there, you know what I mean? Lou Williams is a prolific, pure, unadulterated scorer, you know what I mean? He gets paid to score, and that's what he does, you know what I mean? So the West gonna have a lot of snubs, man. A lot of guys who ain't gonna make it, you know what I mean? But hey, that's my video, man. That's my all-star teams, you know what I mean? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, you know what I mean? Let me know what y'all think about my all-star predictions. If you think some guys are gonna be there as opposed to other guys, leave that in the comment section. Let me know who you think is gonna get snubbed or not make it, and let me know who you think is gonna make it in the comment section. I mean, I want to give a shout out to my man P Money. P Money, I'm hoping both your guys from the Trailblazers make it, because I've always liked the Trailblazers culture out there. You know what I mean? You know, it's the only team in that city, and you know these fellas, they hoop, man. You know, they get it in. You know what I mean? So. And big ups to my man Charlie Brown, you know what I mean? So like I said, all these guys are not going to be East versus West anymore. LeBron and Curry, they're going to pick who's going to be on the All-Star team. And let's see if they make it more fun this year, you know what I mean? As opposed to how it's been the last few years, how it's been boring. Like, we used to get together with friends and homies and everybody to watch All-Star Weekend, from the slam dunk contests and NBA All-Star games, just like we do Super Bowls and stuff. But we don't even do that no more, man. Them people ain't even interested in the All-Star game like they used to be. You know what I mean? Hopefully they can change that this year, all right? B-Marsh Boxing, this is a basketball video. Just dropping a little basketball truth for y'all, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next vid. Peace.